So we did it. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater No Ollie Challenge Run now has over 1,000,000 of a view. It is the most popular video on the channel by some way. If you haven't seen it, there should be a card on screen or check out the description. Having hit 1k views, I thought it's time to dust off the deck and drop back in with part 2. I'm excited to get back into this series as Tony Hawk's was a big part of my life growing up somewhere back in the... But hey, it's not just me, this game holds up. 21 years later, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 still sits pretty as Metacritic's #2 game of all time, just behind this flute-playing orc called Zelda. For this reason, I'm now officially a Tony Hawk Pro Skater channel, so if you love the games, be sure to like and subscribe. But seriously, once done with the 1 and 2 remake, and with serious uncertainty on a 3+4 being made anytime soon, I'm thinking of revisiting the other Gen 1 games in this franchise to try this challenge run out on them. Let me know in the comments if this sounds like something you'd like to watch. But for now, can you beat Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 without doing an ollie? No you can't. Spoilers, in number 1, you needed 51 goals to unlock Area 51 with only 60 goals available. Hang on, 51 goals, Area 51? Either I'm really slow or I've just stumbled across a nice little Easter egg. Probably the former. Anywho, as it's pretty predictable, number 2 will be the same. I have a slightly different plan to set the excitement levels to 11 out of 100. Can Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 be beaten in fewer ollies than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1? Hopefully you've watched part 1 now, but it took me 48 jumps to get all the goals and beat the game 100%. So do it in 47 or fewer? Not quite. A few things that were niggling me from the first run, so before we set the target, let's return to the original game and do some cleaning up. Number 1. In downtown, I could have persevered with the Ollie the Cars goal. I failed to Ollie one of the 3 cars, retrying with a renewed sense of determination and a few interesting and horrifying fails. I managed to achieve this goal without a single ollie. 2. Still in downtown, I got so close to the S of skate by dropping down from above. Again, with perseverance, this can be collected using this strat. 3. The wonderful people in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Reddit community and some commenters on the first video pointed out a few things to me. Pretzel suggested using the S strat to collect the popcorn bucket on the movie theatre awning. 4. There were lots of comments mentioning a new mechanic in the remake which I probably should have known about. Anyway, pressing left or right trigger drops your character off a rail when grinding without the need to ollie or bail. On Downhill Jam, I could potentially use this to save jumping off the rail when collecting the secret tape. It's tricky, but possible, reducing the jump counter by 1. 5. In addition to this grinding strat, another common observation was combining the Airwalk the Gap goal with collecting the secret tape in the mall. This saves 1 more jump. But let's not stop there. Another Pretzel observation, filling your special bar gives you more speed while it's flashing yellow. More speed equals more air. I even experienced this on streets but wasn't sure why I could get the E of skate sometimes and not others. This is why. So equipped with this new knowledge, the first hard hat on Downhill Jam is now within grasp. Also the A on streets, and finally the E in mall. This brings the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 ollie total to 40. But there is one last thing to consider. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 has 6 goal-based levels, totaling 60 goals. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 only has 5 levels with goals. So with some mathematical jigger-pokery, the 40 ollies are scaled down to the 5 levels, equaling 33 and a third. So the target is 33 or fewer jumps to win this challenge. The rest of the rules are the same as 1, check them out there if you would like a refresh. With that sorted, let's kickflip things off. Sorry Tenacious JB, you're out for this run. Don't worry, I'm sure he'll show up a bit later on. Wow, that is brutal. I'm dedicating this character to someone who helped me pull this video together, so I call my skater Pretzel from, well, Springfield. Without visuals, I select the top corner selection for every option, so I hope Pretzel has some sick ink. With stats set as per the first game, I go ahead and boot up level 1, the hangar. Here are the goals for the first level. As per Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1, I'm going to tick off the score goals first, which doesn't prove to be too inconvenient. Skate's up next, but as the S is over the half pipe, I test to see if I can reach this without ollieing, as I may need to combine this goal with the nose grind over the pipe goal. I can get high enough to grab the S, but not all the way over for the nose grind goal, but then I remember my training. I utilise a special speed boost and tick off this goal, and the rest of skate is easy without jumping too. These 4 pilot wings are easy to grab, but the one located above the starting ramp seems impossible. I tried different angles and strats, but all to no avail. Even with the special speed boost, an ollie is required. The barrel hunt goal is super simple, but it's followed by the hang time goal, which requires an ollie over the half pipe at the start, and despite my best efforts, over the chopper too. At least the final gap doesn't require a jump. The final goal is the secret tape. This requires you to grind the helicopter blades. Speedrunners, people actually good at the game, combine this task with the second airtime gap. Luckily, big brain jumps skip good, and you can use a chopper's nose to bump up to grind the blade. Head outside to snag the tape and complete the hang of just 3 ollies. Heading back to school, we knock off the score on combo goals before going after skate. No ollie required for the S, K, A, T, or in fact the E. The hall passes are a different story though. The first pass is just too high to reach. With no ramp to help us out, it's the first jump of the level, quickly followed by the second pass, and the third. But the 4th and 5th can be picked up without any further damage. Roll cool rails next. Approaching at an angle like this allows you to grind the rail without jumping. It's not as easy to get onto the second rail, but it is possible with this funky move using the quarter pipe. The third rail can be grinded, ground, whatever, without the need for an ollie with a similar strat to the first, completing this goal with no jumps. Kickflip TT's roof gap appears to require 2 jumps, one onto the roof and one to kickflip across the gap. However, after taking 1 jump onto the roof, skate to the edge and perform a quick kickflip to still trigger the gap, saving 1 jump. The secret tape definitely requires 1 jump to get to this raise section, but the tape itself can just be collected without having to ollie a second time. I collect this bell first as it's tricky. If you can get the right angle out of the quarter pipe, you can wall ride the bell without an ollie. The second is on a blank wall, so needs an ollie. This bell looks tantalisingly close, but I couldn't snag it without an ollie. The bell in the corner needs 2 jumps as it's on a wall which is on a ledge. However, this route adds some swag. Then I head back to the start and collect the 5th and final bell jump free. 9 jumps in the school. Oh hey there JB, seems to be in a bit of a mood with me. Marseille is souvent. The level is bowl city, so plenty of options for stringing together an air trick to revert to manual to grind combos. I rack up a large enough score to achieve gold on my first attempt without the need for the 3rd heat. Then we jet across the pond to the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. NY City. After achieving the first 4 score and combo goals, skate is next. The T looks high on this rail but requires no jump. The S is also awkwardly placed, but with the special meter full, I managed to get the right angle off this ramp to wall ride and grind to it. The only impossible letter is the A. 1 jump isn't too bad though. Next up is collect 5 subway cards. Only 1 card isn't obvious if an ollie is required. At first it seems like it might be achievable, however I'm unable to get it without ollieing despite throwing everything in the playbook at it. So starting a fresh run to collect all 5. The first is very high and a jump is clearly required. The second is on a low wall and can be grabbed easily. We ollie a second time for our old friend. The 4th card is within reach on this quarter pipe. And the final requires a jump from this ramp. 3 ollies added to the counter. But completing this goal unlocks a subway which is required for some of the remaining goals, but we'll get to them after we ollie some hydrants. Except we're not going to ollie them, as we're going to use the strat we discovered in downtown in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. Kamikaze the taxis to get slammed into the hydrants. It's quite tricky completing all 3 in a single 2-minute run, and it took quite a few attempts, but I got there. Now we head up to the previously closed subway to grind the rails. It's a long grind which requires good balance, but it's pretty simple and doesn't require an ollie. While we're over in this area of the map, I grabbed the secret tape. I thought 2 ollies may be required, but after the initial jump between the rails, the tape can be collected without another jump at the end. 1 goal left, and it's 50-50 Joey's sculpture. At first I think the ollie onto the rail is unavoidable, but by heading back up to the subway platform and skating onto the escalator roof, it's possible to drop down from above onto the rail, completing this goal for no jumps. 5 ollies required for NYC, 17 total. From East Coast to West Coast, the next level is Venice Beach. I used the bowl section at the start to rack up the point total in this level. It's starting to get tricky now, but still no need to ollie. Head up to the west side roof to grab the simple S and the challenging K. You need lots of speed and a good angle to get this one. After getting the A, an ollie is needed to cross to the other roof section. Here you can get the T and the E without any more jumps. 5 spray cans are next. This can is one of those collectibles you must have special in order to collect, and the only other non-standard can is on this ledge. There's no ramp to get up to it, but starting on the roof you can drop down onto the rail and collect it. The other 3 are simple. Now, the next goal is tricky. Ollie the Magic Person with No Fixed Residence. As a kid, I always thought Ollie the Magic Bum was this fella's name, like Puff the Magic Dragon, so I'ma stick with that. So you have to Ollie 5 times. It differs slightly to other goals though, as Ollie only appears in one location at a time. His first location is across the map in this section. I imagine you can ollie without ollieing by using a ramp, etc. However, try as I may, I couldn't get close enough to him in this location. Follow this route to location 2, and it's certainly not easy, but you can drop down to this wall, then drop down again to pick up the second ollie without an ollie.
Get out of here, you creep!
Return to the west side roof for the third ollie, another one where you can drop from above. It's a bit easier than the last location too. Repeat this strat for number 4, albeit this is a bit of an unsighted drop. And the final ollie to ollie is right near the start. Head to the bowl section to get on top of the wall, and a nice simple drop to complete this goal for incredibly only 1 jump. Ramp transfer goals always signal trouble. These 2 aren't too bad though. And the third is laughably easy. The fourth, however, is massive. I can't get anywhere near, so I have no choice but to do another jump. I even managed to fail twice with the ability to ollie. Tail slide Venice ledge. I thought this would be a 1 jumper, but use this quarter pipe to get onto the wall. Then with careful steering and aiming you can get onto the ledge, just be sure to hit the tail slide. The final goal on Venice Beach is, as always, the secret tape. I think most people when playing casually would use the ramp on the roof to collect this. This method would cost 2 jumps, however that's too slow for speedrunners and we can learn from the strats they use. First, amend your skater's stats to max out ollie. Then, with special, and after gaining speed on this quarter pipe, launch off one of these concrete lumps to grab the tape for 1 jump. Just the 4 ollies on Venice Beach, 21 total. The second competition of the game takes place in Skatestreet, a similar level to Skate Park in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. I've always liked this level. It's a lot of fun with tons of ramps and rails, which is good for this run as it means no issues at all in achieving a score large enough to take home the gold. The City of Brotherly Love is the setting for the final goal-based level. We're at 21 goals, so if we can do this in 12 or less, we can chalk this run up as a victory. This is the first time I actually doubt my ability to achieve the 6 score. There is only 1 quarter pipe in this level, making it very hard to score big points and combos. Yes, I know I could combine this with a later goal to open up the skate park area, but I just grind away at medium length combos using the QP for air tricks and the fountain steps for grinds. Despite some bails, these 4 goals are ticked off with no jumps. Skate next, and it's a bit of a painful one. After jumping onto this planter, the S can be grabbed by jumping off again. K is on this awning which is too high to reach without an ollie. The A is ground level, but both the T and the E need another jump. Like with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, it's return of the bell end in the run. Bell 1 is on this planter. There's no ramps to save this ollie. Bell 2, there's multiple methods but each require 2 jumps. The third is near the awning, so another jump needed here, and an additional one for the bell between the kickers. The final one is too high to collect from standing. I tried to reach the planter using the ramp, but I can't get enough speed even with special, so 6 jumps total here. There's no way to avoid the jump to drain the fountain. I tried grinding up the line to the top of this building, but there was no way I could get enough speed. Blindside the awning. Obviously this high up needs a jump. Luckily you don't need any ollies to perform the 4 lit tricks in the skate park. However, the skate park section is locked until you grind a line, which needs an ollie to get onto. And the final goal and final ollie is used to collect the secret tape, which is found on a wire that spans the stage. So unfortunately those 15 ollies take our total to 36, meaning we fail this challenge with just 3 ollies in it. Right? Obviously not. There's loads of overlapping goals in this level, so let's whiz back to the start. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can be done about the jump required to drain the fountain or unlock the skate park to access the lit tricks. However, The other 4 goals can all be collected in one mega run. Let's do it. So we start by collecting the secret tape. As we saw, this does require a jump, however the first Liberty Bell is at the start of the grind, so that Ollie can be combined and shared. This also gets us onto the planter, where we can get the second bell without a jump. 2 jumps for the S. Then, and most obviously, the K and the third Liberty Bell are both located on the awning you need to blunt side. That alone lowers the counter by 2. Pick up the A as before without an Ollie. The T still needs 1 jump, as does the E. Skate all the way back around to the start, collecting the 4th bell for 1 jump, before taking the final trip to the 5th bell, ollieing a final time and bringing the total Ollie count for the level to 9. The ball ring, the final level and the final competition. Can it be beaten without taking the total over 33? Probably. I did find this hard as the ramps are huge. Without the ability to gain speed from air, I didn't get much air time. The required score to win the gold is big too. It took a few goes, but as you can probably guess, I win the gold without any jumps, 100%ing the game. So, can you beat Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 without ollieing? No way. But can you beat 2 in proportionally fewer ollies than 1? Yes, you can. With just 31 ollies, we smashed our target and... Oh, hey, what are you doing here?
Really? I would have thought you would have learnt your lessons from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1.
There's more ollies I could have avoided?
There's more ollies you could have avoided.
Despite trying multiple approaches to ollie the first ollie bump, I originally tried grinding to him using this quarter pipe's coping. Stupidly, I overlooked to simply skate along the top. That means this difficult goal can be achieved in 0 jumps. Staying in Venice, Pretzel found a route up to the roof with the E. This alone wouldn't have saved a jump as the T of skate is on a higher section of the roof. However, he also did this. Our final trip is back to Philly. I secured 4 goals in the mega run for 8 ollies, but with Pretzel we managed to reduce that counter by another 2. First, having to ollie twice for the S was just annoying, but jumping from this planter underneath the S and wall planting grabs the letter for just 1 jump. Technically you need to press the jump button to wall plant, but I really don't think a wall plant can be considered anything like an ollie. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. The final saved ollie comes from the 5th Liberty Bell. First, drop your speed stat to 0, which you can do mid-run. Then, wall ride off this flight of stairs leading to a grind, quickly mash the left trigger and you can make it up onto the planter without ollieing. So the final ollie count for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2? Dun dun dun! 27. As always, I do a quick shout out to a challenge run creator I enjoy, which I think you might like too. This time, it's Barely Alec. Barely Alec definitely has a unique style, which is comical and entertaining. I appreciate the choice of games chosen to run, mixing up big names like Pokemon and Doom with titles which are much less common amongst challenge runners like Glover and Bug Fables. Personally, I really like these challenge runs as I get to not only experience the game, but get the added enjoyment of the extra challenge. I prefer these to long plays, which perhaps you do too. My personal pick is SpongeBob Battle of Bikini Bottom Without Jumping, a 3-episode mini-series. I like how some really interesting strats were discovered and utilised. Check out links on screen and in the description. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please click the like button to really help out. Drop a comment and let me know what you thought of the video and if you'd like me to try this challenge on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 or 4. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more Tony Hawk's Pro Skater content and lots more challenge runs on a variety of games. Also Twitter. Here are some videos you may enjoy if you like this one, and as always, I'll see you in an 8-bit.